Bank Negara will issue the necessary guidelines for Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies by year-end. The central bank is seeking to provide clarity for those seeking to participate in digital currency transactions amid a boom of different forms of the currency in recent times. Governor Mohamed Ibrahim says he's hoping to roll out the guidelines, particularly those related to anti-money laundering and terrorist financing this year. Some central banks, such as in Russia and China, have been skeptical towards cryptocurrencies. On September 4th, China banned initial coin offerings, which is a cryptocurrency-based investment scheme that uses a term closely resembling IPO. At that same week, Malaysia's Security Commission issued a statement to remind the public of the investment risk in cryptocurrency-based investment. The RCI into the Bank Negara Forex scandal back in the 90s has drawn to a close without calling its final witness, former Auditor General Ishak Tadin, who served between 1986 and 1994. The 85-year-old was excused as he is suffering from cognitive impairment and short-term memory. Apart from Ishak, several other witnesses also did not testify, including Chua Tiong Chin, who was BNM's head of Forex trading in the 1990s. He could not be traced. The hearing also had to make do without the testimony of former BNM Governor Jafar Hussain, who has passed away in 1998. The counsels who are holding watching briefs for Anwar Ibrahim says the missing key witnesses, Ishak and Jafar, pose a huge gap in evidence. This is because Jafar held a direct line to Anwar, who was then Finance Minister, and Ishak. Meanwhile, RCI Chairman Muhammad Sidek Hassan says he is standing by the early conclusion that the fiasco had cost the central bank 31.5 billion ringgit in losses. Sidek admits that he doesn't remember the actual figure, but he is firm on not retracting the conclusion that he made on day one of the RCI hearing. He says a proper conclusion will be made when the report is submitted to the King. Khazanah Deputy Chairman Nor Mohamed Yakcop has resigned from the Board of Directors effective September 30th. According to a media statement issued by the State Investment Fund, Nor Mohamed submitted his resignation at the board meeting today. The 70-year-old will also vacate the post of Chairman of Khazanah Research Institute on the same date. The statement quoted PM Najib as thanking Nor Mohamed for his contribution, in particular for his work on the 10-year GLC transformation program. Nor Mohamed is Khazanah's longest-serving board member, having been in it for 15 years. He is the only deputy chairman in Khazanah's 23-year history. He is credited for the success of initiatives, including the revamp and transformation of Khazanah from 2004 to the present day. And he served in various capacities in public service, including as second finance minister from 2004 to 2009. M-Bank Research expects Malaysia's unemployment rate to stay around 3.3 to 3.4% by the end of this year, down from 3.5% in 2016. In a note today, its chief economist Anthony Das said July's jobless rate inched up marginally to 3.5%, while the labour force participation rate fell slightly to 67.7%. He said the slight gain in July's numbers was driven by three factors. The first being the drop of 22 in the number of jobs created, the second, a surge of 11,300 in net unemployed, and finally, the increasing number of people outside of the labour force, which suggests a growing number of people venturing into informal microbusiness or startups. However, with GDP growth this year projected at 5.7 to 5.9%, he says net jobs created should stay on a positive trajectory. Scientex saw its best ever quarterly performance thanks to strong performance in its packaging and property development division. Fourth quarter net profit jumped 33.2% to 72.13 million ringgit, up from 54.14 million a year ago. Revenue came in at over 646 million ringgit, up 15.2% from 561 million last year. Along with a 20% increase in export sales, Scientex also saw a good take-up rate in its property projects, particularly Taman Pulai Mutiara in Johor. The group proposed a final dividend of 10 cents per share for the quarter. In terms of its full-year report card, net profit grew 6.2% to 255.9 million ringgit, while top line came in at just over 2.4 billion compared with 2.2 billion ringgit a year before. Scientex MD Lim Peng Jin says the group's venture into consumer packaging since 2013 has paid off tremendously, explaining that its consumer packaging ops currently contributes more than 50% to revenue, with exports exceeding domestic sales. Furthermore, Scientex has just completed the expansion of its consumer packaging polyethylene plant in Ipoh in August 2017, while its new stretch film facility in Arizona, US is on track to commence operations in early 2018.